I, a nearly adult male, think my dad is unfair despite everyone I ask telling me he's not. I talked to my family about it for support and they were unsupportive and actually called me ungrateful. I turn 18 soon and my dad told me that he wants me to start paying rent after I turn 18 or I'll have to move out. This made me upset because both of my brothers weren't forced to move out or had to pay rent when they turned 18. My oldest brother, 25, only moved out 2 years ago, and my other brother, 22, still lives with us. I told him this and he told me that he knew he'd made a mistake when raising them and that he wasn't going to make the same one with me. I asked my dad if he was saying this to my brother, 22, and he told me that he wasn't because he was unemployed and if he were to kick him out, he'd be homeless. I asked my dad why he cared about him not being homeless, but was ready to make me homeless. He told me he'd help me find an apartment and would co-sign the lease if I chose to move out. I asked my dad why he wouldn't just do this for my brother instead, but he told me that he didn't trust him, which just made me angry. I feel like I'm getting punished for being well behaved. I explained this to my dad and told him that if he'd parented better, he wouldn't have to force all his regrets on me. My dad got upset and told me I was being unfair. He said that I knew how hard he tried to raise all of us, and I can't fault him for everything when he tried his best. I called my family to try to convince my dad that he was the one being unfair, but they told me that I should be grateful my dad cares about me and that they agree with him. They told me his only fault is letting my brothers stay as long as they did, and they're glad he wasn't going to enable me. I did nothing wrong. I genuinely feel like I'm getting punished for my brother's actions, and I don't find that fair at all. You are the idiot. Welcome to adulthood. Life isn't fair. Pay your rent to help your dad offset your expenses, save up and move out when ready. He's not kicking you out, he's just telling you that you have to contribute to stay. I'm with you on this. His saying that everyone in his family agrees with his dad makes me think there's more to the story. All of us reading this think dad is an idiot, so there's no way there isn't at least one person in his family who agrees. Unless the brothers are unmitigated little idiots who everyone agrees would have been better served by being pushed to do more, I can see a family agreeing when a dad is finally stepping up, even when he's doing it wrong, as in this case. OP is not the idiot, dad is, family is, brothers are, OP is not. It's not OP's fault that dad didn't properly parent 2 older children. Dad should tell 22-year-old to get a job or get out. Maybe set rules for OP like, if you live at home, you either need to have a job to save for a house or be in college. However, punishing the youngest child for not being a waste of space is inappropriate. Why have a kid when you're going to discard them 18 years later? I don't get the point. This is precisely how to be a father who doesn't have a relationship with his son. Leaving home at 18 in this economy sets you up for failure, especially if you're considering studying. I'm sorry, but this is where you find out you're not his biological kid, or he hates your mother, or he was cheating when he had you. This was my first thought. The youngest isn't a fair child or something that differentiates him from the older two. Parents have favorites, dude, so get your father to co-sign a lease, get your butt moved out, and keep contact to a minimum for the foreseeable future. You're not the idiot for feeling the way you do. Your father's house rules have changed as each child burned him. Learn from your siblings' experiences and be the one who burns dear old dad with your success. My female 26 grandmother passed away 8 months ago. Her name was Charlotte, but everyone knew her as Nana Lottie. Her loss has devastated our family beyond words. In honor of Nana Lottie, my sister, 19, wanted to name her newborn baby girl something that could have the nickname Lottie. She didn't like Charlotte, so there's been lots of brainstorming for different names that could still have Lottie as a nickname. In her 3rd trimester, my sister came to me and told me that she'd decided on Harlot. This is because it's easy to say and spell and has the nickname Lottie. I told her this was the bad idea to end all bad ideas and asked if she Googled the word. She said she had, but no one would make the connection because it's such an uncommon word in daily life. I recommended choosing something else, but she was firm and got so upset about me not liking the name that she stopped talking to me for about a week. So I left it alone. Now, baby Harlot was born and an announcement was made on Facebook. She specifically said, in honor of Nana Lottie, I'm pleased to introduce baby Harlot, nickname Lottie. To say the family lost their minds would be an understatement. People were so upset that Nana Lottie was now being associated with that word, and a lot of the extended family said that they would not meet this child because they couldn't face the situation. My sister reached out to me to cry, but when I said I'd tried to warn her, she got really upset and said I hadn't warned her enough. I should have kept trying in different ways and forced her to listen. I don't really know what that means, but now my mom, 56, is on her side as well, saying that hormones lead to bad decisions and it's up to the family to steer our loved ones in the right direction. She said that I should have known a teenager's decision to name a baby Harlot would end in tears and I should have done more. For clarification, my mom didn't know the name in advance as my sister wanted to surprise everyone with a touching tribute to Nana Lottie. I feel pretty upset now that so many people who were grieving already are now having to deal with this association, and I maybe could have done more to talk her around. Was I the idiot? That is hilarious. Man, I wish I was a fly on the wall when they told the nurse that name. Freaking dead. You did your thing, not the idiot. You can't fix stupid, and your mom shouldn't be blaming it on you or the hormones. And info, what stopped her from simply calling the child Lottie? Why is there a need for any other name if they plan to call her Lottie all the time anyway? I did suggest naming her Lottie, but she didn't want her child to be named a nickname. She wanted something proper, for legal documents. Oh, that sweet summer child. This just keeps getting funnier. Harlot, for legal documents. Your sister is diluting the intelligence of the human gene pool by procreating. Seriously, has she always been an idiot, or is this something new? Pregnancy hormones spawned insanity? Make her? You didn't warn her enough? I'd refuse to talk about this with her. She sounds like someone who makes people around her dumber by interacting with them. I sure hope she's changing the baby's name. What a ditz. So my mom was widowed before she met my dad, and she had my 3 brothers from her first marriage. By the time I was born, they were 11, 9 and 8, and I think their dad had been gone for 3 or 4 years at that point. I've always loved and looked up to them, but I can admit now that they were never too into me. Mom would bring us all together for movie nights, family game nights, hikes, bowling, museum tours and stuff, but that gap between us never closed. I didn't see it when I was younger. I felt so lucky to have 3 big brothers, and people used to say how sweet it was to be a little girl with 3 much older brothers who looked out for her and protected her, so I believed that's how it was. And I would get so caught up whenever they visited that I ignored how much they avoided being around me or how cold they were to me. They also don't have a close relationship with my dad, but I knew they had a different one and thought that was pretty typical, but I still thought they were real siblings, I guess. My older brother got married last year, and the wedding was the experience that opened my eyes, I guess. My brother's wife got a few sibling photos taken in different poses and stuff, and my brothers had photos together. My brother and his wife posed with all the siblings, but all the siblings did not include me. I was not in any of the sibling photos. My mom even came to get me, and I watched as the photos were taken without me. My mom told my brother I was waiting, but he said I would only be in the bigger group photo at the end. When it came to the immediate family photo, it was just my mom and 3 brothers with my brother's wife and her parents and siblings. Dad and I were not included in that. My brother did this really sweet dance with his wife's youngest sister, who's a teen, I think. I'm also a teen for reference, and that was like a major highlighted thing, but he didn't dance with me at all, and neither did my other brothers. 2 or 3 months after the wedding, it still bothered me. Then we went to my brother's house and I saw that I wasn't visible in the bigger wedding photo, like you wouldn't realize I was there at all. That upset me, and I told my parents I didn't want to return to the house anymore. I got kind of upset, and the whole wedding and then the photo in his house overwhelmed me, and I started crying. My mom got so angry at my brother. All 3 of my brothers told her that she was overreacting and interfering. She told them how upset it made me, and they said I was making a big deal out of something I shouldn't be because I should know they're not close to me and don't see me as their real sister. They said I was just being an overdramatic baby and making a big deal out of something I should just forget. They were really angry at me. Mom and I are still fighting about it. Am I the idiot? Oh, this is heartbreaking. You're not the idiot. Of course not the idiot. Maybe when they were still young, I could have acknowledged how hard it must have been for them to lose their father and then see their mother go on to make a new family. Still, they're adults now and their behavior is just awful. I'm so sorry. I can't imagine how you felt standing there waiting for your turn in the picture. The dance with his fiancée's sister is what got me. That's heartbreaking. I'm sorry you had to experience such needless exclusion. It would have cost them nothing to take a few photos with her and never order any. It's not like there are limits on how many photos can be taken at a wedding. They suck. You need to accept they don't like you and realize you might never get closure or the answer to why. I'm sorry this sucks, and as a kid you are not to blame. Some people are just selfish idiots. I disagree. If the writer was the brother saying, "My mom wants me to treat her daughter like my sister when she isn't, and the man who replaced my dead dad like my father," I didn't want them in my wedding photos because I don't see them as family. Everybody here would be saying the brothers were not the idiot and parents shouldn't force them to blend with the new family and blah blah blah. You can't force other people to love you. Your mother's other children have experienced the family dynamics and family life in a different way than you have. A typical sibling bond is never an obligation or owed, as painful as it may be. A few of my 26 female friends came over to our house for a get-together lunch. A few of them have kids and brought them. One of my friends, Nora, 28 female, has a son, Jack, a preschooler, notorious for being naughty. Jack doesn't get along with other kids and is a constant source of crying and screaming. Nora brought Jack over. He said he wanted to nap, so I showed Nora the guest room and told herself to make herself comfortable. Nora came back downstairs after a while and we hung out. Now, around 40 minutes later, Jack came back down and was smiling like crazy. He had my wife's, Kate, 29 female, wedding ring. Kate is a doctor and doesn't take her ring to work. She leaves it on her nightstand. Jack had clearly gone into our bedroom. I told Nora I'd like him to give the ring back. Nora said he'd get bored with it now and that I needed to relax. A few minutes later, I asked Jack to return the ring. This triggered something because he ran to the window and threw the ring out in our spacious backyard. I got really mad. Kate adores her ring and I had it custom made with many little touches. It was extra special because it resembled a ring in her nana's family that she couldn't have because she chose to marry a woman. So after all that, I told Nora her son had no manners and that she needed to do something about him, maybe take him to a doctor because this is not healthy kid behavior. She got very upset and left. Other guests started leaving too. Kate and I spent the entire evening looking for it, but we couldn't find it. I'm a crying mess. Kate keeps saying it's nothing, but I know how much she loves that ring. Despite all this, every mom in our friend group is calling me an idiot for taking it too hard on Jack and Nora. Was I an idiot? Your friend group can get on their hands and knees and comb every inch of your yard too, or they can never be invited back to your home. If you never find the ring, you can ask for a new ring to be made to the exact specifications and Jack's mama can pay for it. Not the idiot. Jack's mama was responsible for her child. She can pay to replace what he threw out the window while she did nothing, even if you have to get a court judgment to make her. Absolutely, Jack doesn't need a doctor, he needs discipline, and the friend group contains a bunch of choice idiots. How would they feel if it was their home, jewelry and property disrespected by a tyrant who lacks discipline? They would all be forgotten and soon. They want to chide OP and pretend that this is normal behavior so they won't get scolded if their kid does something like that. However, everyone's the idiot here. The child behaves that way because his mother lets him, not because there's something wrong with him. So it was kind of mean to say that when your real issue is that your friend is a crap parent. You can get a metal detector for under $50, so just buy it and walk around the backyard until you find the ring, and make sure your jewelry insurance is up to date. I'd be finding a new set of friends too. So I, male 23, recently got out of a relationship with my ex-fiancée, Mara, female 23. We were together for 3 years and engaged for 4 months. I called off the engagement and eventually broke up with Mara due to her cheating on me and lying about various things unrelated to the cheating. I think people deserve second chances, but my final straw was when I found out she'd been cheating on me with her own stepbrother, and I knew I had to walk away. In a nutshell, the breakup was very volatile. There was lots of arguing and she tried to bargain with me, so I asked her to leave my apartment. My family was very disappointed when they found out. My parents really wanted me to marry Mara. When we first started dating, my mom gave me a family heirloom ring to propose to Mara with. Its value is sentimental, it's not made of any particularly expensive materials like gold or diamonds. My mom is now asking for the ring back, but I never got it back from Mara. Once things had cooled off, I did ask Mara for the ring. She asked why she should return it, hinting that she wanted payment. I offered her $40 and she demanded $300 plus my laptop and PS5 and threatened to pawn the ring. I called her bluff and said she was getting $40 or nothing. She said, "Have it your way," shut the door in my face and said she was pawning it. I explained the situation to my mom. My mom was furious that I didn't immediately pay Mara to get it back by any means necessary and asked if my laptop and PlayStation were more important than a family heirloom. I told her that Mara probably wouldn't have given it back anyway and likely already lost or pawned it. She demanded I contact my ex immediately and offer her what she wanted. I told her no and that I'm not doing it on principle. This caused an argument between my mom and me, and she thought I was a bad son. Am I the idiot for refusing to buy the ring back? Not the idiot. She needs to give it back. An engagement ring is given in contemplation of marriage. That marriage hasn't happened and isn't going to happen. Tell her she needs to return it intact. An engagement ring is not a gift. Go to the courthouse, file a lawsuit, have her served and get the ring back. In a best case scenario, you or your family hire an attorney. A laptop, PS5 and cash? Do you have that in writing? The ring is yours legally. She just valued it at $2,000 or more. Sue her for that amount or return of the ring. A lawyer probably costs more, but I do this out of spite. Take her to small claims court or get a lawyer friend to send her a letter. It might scare her enough to do the right thing. I would seriously suggest that you send your mother to get the ring back from her. She's going to be awful to you, but your mother might have the ability to shame her into handing it over. What a grifter! Asking for money, your computer and your PlayStation. Bizarre. I suggest this because years ago my grandmother was able to gently shame an ex-boyfriend of one of my cousins into giving the family china back. Man, give your mom her number and let her deal with it.